Even though this dark wine red color lives on the same tier of value as the deep dark denim blue, achieving it's going to be a little bit different. You don't want to lift all of this contributing red pigment out to as blonde as you possibly can go to get a true wine red color, the way that you would with the true deep denim blue. And if you were to do the same steps as you would for the dark denim blue color, you might end up with this like Crayola red instead of wine red. Generally speaking, when you are working with red, you want to use the contributing pigments of your lift to your advantage, depending on what your goal color is of. So if we're going for wine red, in my opinion, wine red is a more cool toned red, usually darker. It's probably going to be living in this general area of the color. So you'd probably want to stay as close to this tier of value as possible and not bleaching the shit out of it blonde, or else it will fade orange every single time. But if you only lift your hair to like a brassy red color, that's as light as it will ever fade to. But if you lift it to an orange color, it will always fade to an orange color eventually, because that's what it's been lifted to. Honestly, a lot of the times with wine red, you don't even really need to lift it. You want to use like naturally dark hair to give you that depth that you're looking for with wine red specifically. But if you're going for more of an aerial red, like a true primary red color, like this picture, then you do want to lift through some of that contributing pigment, because that's going to get in the way of that really bright, in-your-face, fire engine truck red. If you are going to be using semi-permanent color for your formulation, I would recommend lifting your hair the tiniest bit, just to open the cuticle and make it a lot easier for that color to seep into your hair. But let's say we're starting with like a Crayola color. We're going to want to darken it a little bit by putting like a couple chocolate chips, a couple of dabs of like a semi-permanent black in with this Crayola red. That's going to not only darken it, but it's also going to cool it off a little bit. So it's a little bit more of like a purpley red, which is great, especially for the fading problem. So if you did accidentally lift it a little bit higher than you were expecting, having that extra purple in the mix is going to get it to fade a little bit more balanced and not so orange. But just be careful when you're cocktailing semi-permanent colors together. You don't know what things will do to one another. So just be very careful when you are putting your darker colors in, because it can absolutely take over your whole formula and just ruin the entire batch. But if it does end up a little bit more cool toned, a little bit more purpley wine red, it will fade through this way, if that makes sense. So it will be a lot more wearable if you start out cooler tone. But great question. Thank you so much for asking. And I really hope that my answer and my visual helped. You have a good day, and I'll see you later.